Today we're going to go see my friend Paul. He has bipolar, autism and a lot of other health conditions, but today he wants to talk about agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is a mental and behaviour disorder, specifically an anxiety disorder, where you feel, not just feel unsafe, but you cannot leave the house. And it can be quite scary for people who have this condition. So let's go talk about it. How did it all start off?
I was at school when I was 13, and we were moving up classes, and at the time it was the start of a panic attack, which I didn't know at the time what panic attack was like, but a lot of people told me that what it was. When I got a little bit older, they told me what it was and how you're supposed to deal with panic attack, which, to be fair, I never did deal with panic attacks.
You just tried to avoid it as much as possible?
Yeah, I never could deal with panic attack, at all. I'm better now if I was to get one, but then,
you don't know what it is, do you?
You don't know what it is, and they used to say, blow into a bag.
Okay.
But I've been through a few mental health people over the last few years.
Yours is very complex, isn't it? Because not just don't have agoraphobia, you suffer with anxiety like me.
Yeah.
We're both autistic, but then you also suffer with your bipolar. You ain't told me everything, but there's like a lot. There's a lot that can be very complex. But with agoraphobia on its own, that's just as scary.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that ruined most of my early life, basically.
You can't do it. You were saying about not being able to move or get out the house.
Yeah, I couldn't go anywhere. I mean, the only two people I could probably go with my auntie and my mum and dad. That was the only three people.
You felt safe with, probably.
Yeah. I mean, I used to go to my grand's houses, so both of them were alive at the time.
Yeah.
So that was fine. I felt safe there.
Yeah.
But going to say, I remember when I was mid-teen, 15, Mum thought it'd be nice to go away for a day in Poole, Dorset way, near Bournemouth, and it was in the underground, like the Malways in town, and I couldn't go in. I was panic-stricken about going in there.
Yeah.
I couldn't go in. No, we never went in, so we went on to Bournemouth.
You've always remembered it?
I always remember that, yeah, I always remember that. There's three things I always remember.
Is there anything you would say to your past self? I bet you're a bit different now, you've learned skills throughout your life with agoraphobia, but what could you say to your past self, like kid self? What would you say?
Don't be so silly, because...
Oh, don't be so hard on yourself though.
I am always hard on myself.
Yeah.
Because now it's...
Because you've learnt techniques,
I mean, I've seen lots of different people for years. I mean, when I was like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I went to the, what they call young people's centre, which used to be Mount Goldway, which is especially for people with, well, mental
health
issues,
conditions?
But some of them was not what I would say is mental health these days.
Okay.
And it wasn't the right place for what I had really, because you were picked up every day, go out and maybe.
Yeah, it didn't fit you.
It didn't fit me at all.
No.
And then I would have another bloke who'd come out and decide to take you somewhere and just leave you, and you got to find your way home. You took
That's
me
quite
down.
horrible.
Yeah, it's awful how they treated mental health back then. And it never helped, never worked. Only seen him twice and I got rid of him.
Do you think the mental health has improved these days? Not really.
Well, they treat it a lot better these days.
Yeah, it's more spoken about, but I don't think it's
not treated well.
No.
Because most of the people I know, they got some sort of mental health, and they only let you see a psychologist for 6
Oh, really?
6 to 8.
Oh, you're on about enough options now?
Yes, one of them. But
Yeah.
I've been out in South Hams.
Okay.
We're under another organisation.
Okay.
But I know a lady who went to some options.
Yeah. It's hit and miss because
Yeah,
CBT
I mean,
therapies and
sometimes they don't take you when you're really bad in some options.
yeah.
I know a few people they wouldn't
Me
take.
too. Me too. And they couldn't have them because they
No.
were having suicidal thoughts.
Yeah,
So they said, no, we can't help you. Even there's no other options for them to go.
No, nowhere else
So
to
then
go.
they're just got nothing to go
No.
for. What would you say to someone who is suffering with agoraphobia and has it like you? Do you have any tips or advice for anyone out there with it to help them?
Well, I was talking, funny enough, to my mum last night actually about it, and she reckons how I got over it was, I don't recommend anybody doing it this way,
Okay.
but I was dying. Well, I was going to be dying of rheumatoid.
Arthritis? Yeah.
When I was in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And I went into hospital for a week
Yeah.
while they diagnosed, run lots of different tests. And I still had agoraphobia at the time. And my mum said something that interested me a bit last night. She said, she thought, because I had no option but to go in hospital,
Yeah.
that might have cured me.
Oh, so you faced your fear entirely?
Yeah, because
maybe. Some people can.
I wouldn't go out of the hospital if I can go out. And I'm in hospital.
I think it depends on the individual. The thought of me, as I have like a certain type of anxiety disorder, if I went in the hospital, I lose the ability to speak.
Yes.
So that's like I guess that's a completely different one altogether. We can go for days talking about
different people,
different types and different anxiety disorders.
But for agoraphobia, it probably did. Neither me and mum could think what I was like when I came home from the hospital that day.
You changed.
But I did start to go out again on my own. You know.
How did you feel then?
Do
you feel like you're being a bit
I was nervous, obviously. You know. And it always something always worried that might come back one day. And that what always again what people say, don't do too much, rest up. You know, do that. But I always like rushing in around everywhere trying to get myself perfect, you know. Is
there any positive things you want to say to anyone who has agoraphobia to help them before we go?
A friend of mine got agoraphobia, and
is there any positive things you want to say to anyone who has agoraphobia to help them before we go?
Never give up.
Never give up?
Never give up, because it's something I would always bred into me. Never give up, whatever wrong you, never give up for these things. And to fight through everything.
I think that's lovely. I think that's beautiful words to end it like that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds very nice.
Never give up?
Never give up.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.